Hey, thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about romantic relationships and how not to lose the four L's because they are what holds the relationship together. And when you have these L's, you're also going to have something that lasts longer, and it's going to be improving your intimacy and your sex life, and all of that stuff's going to come together. So let's get started. So what are these four things in a relationship? They are the L's that make you a lover. And without the L in lover, what you have is over. And it really is that simple. You've got to get all of these components in place. And if any of them are missing, you're going to move towards sabotaging the relationship or ending the relationship. And we don't want that unless you're in the wrong relationship, obviously. But I'm going to talk about all that starting with the first L. The first L is loyalty. If you don't have loyalty, you're obviously not going to stay together. I mean, if you're with the wrong person, you're not going to be loyal. If somebody's cheating, you're not going to be loyal. If you're not compatible, you're not going to be loyal. So all of those things have to be there for the loyalty. So what's the biggest thing, the most complicated thing out of all of those? It's the compatibility. I think a lot of people don't mean to be disloyal. They don't mean to cheat or break up, but they're just not loyal because they're not with the right person. They're not compatible. So how do you get to this compatibility stage or understanding? You have to understand yourself. Being compatible really is learning who you are. And my whole channel is about the holistic model of understanding yourself and understanding other people. The first thing you want to learn is who you are. Like, what makes you compatible and what do you want to look for? Because people that are compatible are around other people similar to them. If you go with your opposite, it may be intriguing. At first, it may be interesting, different. But after 6 months to a year, it's most likely that there's going to be miscommunications. There's going to be interpretation problems with how people reason or interpret the world. But if you remove all of that and you have an understanding of who you are as a person, it becomes much more simple to get compatibility in your partner. So how do you find out who you are? Let's start with the 25 body types. There are 25 known chemistry types, and there's a personality profile that's super duper accurate. And this is not a new discovery. This has been around for decades. Why it's not in the mainstream, it blows my mind. It's such valuable information. Even my channel, all this stuff is so valuable. I'm really hoping that it gets out to the mainstream because it's just a abundance of material and discoveries that will just resolve most problems in people's lives. So using that with your romantic relationship, if you know your body type, there's 4 categories or quadrants that Dr. Carolyn talks about. And all the people in each quadrant, they're super compatible with each other. All the physical people, the intellectual people, the spiritual people, the emotional people, they all have their way of reasoning and experiencing and interpreting life similar to those other body types. So get your body type done. Go to bodytype.com and take the free test on there. Figure out what you are. The second area is learning your metaphysics. There are 4 metaphysics: fire, water, earth, and air. It's that simple. This has nothing to do with astrology or your zodiac sign. It has nothing to do with anything in the medical, therapeutic, or psychological model. This is not anything to do with acupuncture either. It's totally separate from all of that stuff. But once you learn and can test what element you are, and I can test a person's elements in about 15 seconds. It doesn't take long. I've done it with like 1,000 people in testing them. I can pretty much find out people's elements almost just by looking at their face. Once you learn the element system, you can categorize yourself and you can immediately know who's compatible with you, because people that are similar elements relate to each other. They experience life similar. They even communicate similar. They have a similar way of interpreting many aspects of life, business, relationships, achievement, when they have their energy in the day and everything. So putting those two together moves you towards compatibility. The other area of compatibility is to resolve negative programs. People have negative programs, they have sabotages, they have fears and phobias that stop them. And when it comes to applying that in a romantic relationships, you can resolve those things. A lot of these triggers that people have in just talking to the other person, discovering why things happen or why they experience things a certain way or why they're triggered, can be reversed now. It's been around for decades, this technique. And as you reverse things, you move into the second L in a relationship, which is going to be number 2, is laughter. The more laughter you have in a relationship, the better things are going to be and the longer you're going to stay together. If there's negativity of any kind, it's going to wear on the relationship and eventually break things apart. And the laughter is going to go away. And without that L, it's going to be over. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter how hot you are for the person, how physically attractive you are to them or to you. Without the joy and positive experiences in a relationship, it's going to be over. And the way to create that laughter and the joy is to be at least 70% compatible with a person. You have to be 70 to 80% or more compatible, or it's going to fall apart. Love starts at 50%, but love is not enough. Love can even be something some people believe they have at first sight, but they are probably incorrect. Most people don't have that gift of knowing or having that innate intelligence to recognize their perfect match. It really takes a little bit of time and resolving people's misunderstandings and experiencing and figuring out what their compatibilities are so that the laughter is there. Because as you have joy and laughter and positive experiences, it builds a bond that's long-term with the other person. And you build that trust with the other person and you start to realize that they have your back and you have their back. And there is a longevity component there. And it's really hard to separate or get rid of something that's good. So if you have all this laughter and positive experience in your life and with the partner you're with, why would you not want to be loyal to that? It's really just pieces of a puzzle. And the more pieces you have that work, the more complete and clear the puzzle is. So let's move into puzzle piece number 3. Lust. I know that's a weird word to use, but it starts with an L and I like it. And it really comes down to that physical connection and that chemistry with the person. If you have that chemistry and you feel this lustful attraction, this wanting, this desire to be with them, it's going to only build a connection with the person. Anybody that sits there and says they don't need sex, they don't need intimacy, they don't need physical contact, they are running a sabotage program. They have esteem issues, they have sabotage issues, they have intimacy issues, they're breaking themselves down. And if you're with them, they're going to break you down. It's really that simple. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. Women that are withholding sex from men, it's going to ruin the relationship. Men that are withholding intimacy in a relational, emotional way with women, it's eventually going to sabotage the sex part or the physical contact part, which then is eventually going to break the relationship, and you're going to take the lust out of lover and it's going to be over. That's simple. So it may be So really, the key is to look at those first three puzzle pieces: loyalty, laughter, and the lust part of it. They all come into being clear with what it is that works in a relationship for you. And everything that flows and is going to be compatible is going to be limited to how many negative programs, family projects, phobias, addictions, negative triggers people have in their relationship. And as those things are removed, and I'll tell you right now, they're not going to be removed with going to a coach or a therapist or a psychologist. You are going to spend thousands of dollars and just reveal what's going on. You're going to be educated. You're going to expose why things are happening. But the core, the fundamental core level emotion, the original event of what's going on is still there. These models really don't resolve things at a deep level, and they don't resolve things at a spiritual level because they're not spiritually based. They're not holistically based. They're based out of chemicals, drugs, science, and a model around talk therapy. And it's not enough. It might help some people, it might clear up some things, but if you really want a holistic way of getting into an amazing relationship with this partner you're with, you're going to want to look at clearing up anything that clouds your ability to reason and to understand your own triggers and your own self-limiting beliefs and whatever they are, whether they're addictions, negativity, hostility, anger issues, withdrawal issues, stonewalling people, not listening to them. All of those things come into play, and they've been talked about in the psychological model. There's a guy, Dr. Gottman, who talks about the horsemen that come and destroy relationships. That's a good elementary level book to read. It really is kindergarten level stuff. It just tells you the very, very basics of how, if you create negative situations in a relationship, whether it's blame, attack, making people feel inadequate, stonewalling, ignoring people. It's just ways of being negative and causing and removing the laughter out. Because how can you be laughing and enjoying yourself with a person that's doing these negative things? You can't. But the reason people do negative things or people sabotage their relationships is they themselves are broken. We're all have sabotage things going on. We all have it. Very few people had a perfect life. We all had circumstances in our childhood, with our families, with money, with stress, with ex-partners. All of those things pile up over time, and they need to be resolved. And they can be resolved very simply, and anybody can learn how to do it. It isn't a lot. You do not have to go to medical school to learn this stuff. I teach it on my website in 2 and 5 minute videos. Simple. Can be learned, and the actual protocols to clear these traumas take about 30 seconds. That's how fast it works. And when these things are done, it resolves the physical ailments. Some people have intimacy problems because they have physical ailments. They have ED problems, erectile dysfunction. They have premature ejaculation problems. Women have problems getting aroused. They feel apprehensive, withdrawal. They can't feel safe. All of this stuff comes also from physical ailments. Physical stress causes this stuff to break down our glands and our organs, which then affects our hormones, which then affects our bodily functions. And it's all still on a holistic model. It all goes into what we believe is what we achieve. And maybe a person's body is damaged. Maybe there's some things not working. But as people go in and start repairing the negativity, the trauma, the psychological things that are happening in their lives, things start moving up in their health. Things start to work. Things start to function. People start feeling more romantic physically. They start having more hormones, and things start to work better. So as people resolve these things, it moves you into the fourth piece, which is love. Love is the fourth L. You've got to have love in your relationship, and it isn't something that's made from meeting at the first time. Anyone that you meet for the first time and you think you're in love, it's probably that you're in love with their potential, or you're infatuated with who you hope they are. But it really takes time to get to know people, and it takes time for each of us to experience what we deliver in a relationship with each person, because each person we're with, we're going to reveal different parts of who we are. But the good thing is, all of this stuff that sabotages our relationships, sabotages our sex lives, sabotages our health, reduces our ability to have confidence and reassurance and safety and trust. It's all been resolved. This stuff has been discovered decades ago, long time ago, with multiple techniques. And the doctors and I have all been working on this for 20 years to figure out which protocols and which techniques work the best, and we've discovered it. And I'm giving it out for near nothing. I teach people how to do it. And when you resolve this stuff, all you get is a better outcome. And you get the 4 L's in a relationship. And I'll tell you right now, you need all of them. If you take any of those L's out, it's going to be over. It's really that simple. You have to have all those components in a romantic relationship. Business relationships and friendships, it's not as critical. But romantic relationships are the most complex because you're dealing with all 4 categories. I really hope this information was of service. I want you to put comments on how I can add additional information to my videos. If this video prompted some ideas or questions, put them in the comments. Say, what about this? What about that? Then I can make a new video. And if you like this video, hit the like button or share it with somebody else, because it just leads people into understanding that there's ways to resolve things, including complicated things like addictions and sabotages around intimacy and sex. And it can be done in a very short time. It can be done by you and your partner directly as a team, working as a team, or you can resolve them by yourself. You can clear your own emotional traumas, negative programs, family projects. If you know what they are, you don't even need to go through a process of testing or figuring out what they are. If you already know what your difficulties are, you can go straight to the protocol and resolve it. I really hope this was a benefit to you. I hope you learned something in this video. I'm open to your suggestions, and I will see you at the next one.